the amazing Jennifer Appel with me tonight. She just finished moderating the chat. We were talking about finding the positives during this time of tragedy, and just during, I mean, it really relates to any kind of tragedy, like in stuff, but very specific, obviously, to what's going on in the world right now, and how it has shifted so many worlds and so many aspects of our worlds and our lives, in so much in a crazy way for educators, shifting from classrooms to virtual classrooms and remote, and figuring out the logistics and all these different things. And I think it is really important to, while we understand what's going on and the craziness and stuff, but trying to find whatever light we can, right, in any way we can. And I feel like the chat did that. I thought it did exactly what I was hoping it was going to do.
Absolutely.
How are you feeling right now? Was this your first mastery chat that you moderated?
This is my first chat I've moderated.
Oh, okay.
Not like mastery chat, like
just
I've never
chat.
done it. Yes. So this is my first time.
And how are we feeling? How are we feeling right now?
I'm feeling like I just completed like a sprint, and like I'm a little like I still have the adrenaline going, you know.
Were you on your computer or did you do your phone? Computer or phone?
I had all four of it. Like I had no, I'm serious. Like I had my iMac, which is like my big computer. I had my laptop, I had my iPad, and I had my phone.
I love it.
So I was like between 4 different things. So I was trying to respond to everyone I could, but I apologize to those of you I didn't, but I was trying my best tonight.
I love it. I'm trying to bring up, because sometimes BeLive doesn't show us our comments or anything, so I want to make sure I have that.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
But I'm not seeing it yet. So here we are. Okay, here we go. I'm bringing it up. I'm doing that. I see Michelle's watching. Hi, Michelle. So I got that here. I'm gonna put it right here so I can see it better. I didn't prepare myself like I should. Anyway, so fast chat. It is. It's a pretty fast chat. It gets
it is. Well, and there's so many questions. It's like I mean, it goes like quick.
So that's the thing. Like it's fast in the sense of there's a lot of action, a lot of activity, but it's also long because it's an hour long. A lot of chat. Since we started this chat almost 3 years ago now, I think it's been almost, most chats have gotten shorter. You have chats that are like 2 questions, 15 minutes. And we've surveyed our audience multiple times saying, hey, should we go shorter? And they're like, no. And we've stayed doing this longer one, which is always it's just a lot of fun.
The thing is it's great information because people really like can think about it and they can answer in more depth.
The questions are spaced out a little bit more, just a little bit. And it is this long conversation really goes. And it does get fast. And we trend in the United States almost every single week. And it's because there are a lot of people. So someone says, oh, I think that's Michelle comments, and I'm just waiting for you guys to hurry it up so I can get this thing on YouTube. Because Michelle pulls down this chat video and throws it on YouTube for us afterwards.
That's funny.
So, hey Joe, what's up? We are not getting the comments over here, so I'm gonna watch my phone. But Joe Gonzalez says, hey Jeff, hey Jennifer. I see Ashley's watching. Ashley's our super awesome social media intern there. So so let's talk about this. So we're talking about finding the positives during a tragedy. Can you share sort of what was in your head? Like, I know we talked, we're like, hey, like, I can't remember what your original topic was that we booked you forever ago. And then was happening.
It was like SEL and
I think it was. Right?
It was.
We to all of our different moderators and said, hey, can we try to tailor this to what's going on in the world? So that's just because we're trying to make it more valuable. You were super quick to do that. You're like, I think I want to go on this finding positive. So what led you there? I mean, I think I know, but I want to hear from you.
I think that in life in general, I try to find the positive in everything. I think that's how we can get through tragedies. To me, personally, that's how I get through things. Is when something happens, I always try to think, how can we make this positive? And I think of Dr. Michelle Borba. She says that as anxiety goes up, empathy goes down. And so in society right now, I know that we have kids and adults and everyone that's having a lot of anxiety because this is something we've never lived through. We've never had this in our lifetime. And so we have a lot of anxiety over it and we have some stressors. And so I think we don't want that empathy to go down. So I think trying to have those positives, anything we can see as a positive, that we can take those and we can learn from those. And so then we can empathize with, there was a lot of people tonight. I really loved everybody's responses. A lot of people talked about, thanking healthcare workers, thanking people that are out there serving the community right now. You know, there's a lot of people. Sorry, that's my dog Maya saying hi.
She's got to get her 2 cents.
She's saying hi. Sorry, that's a positive. You get to say hi to Maya. But I think that's just like, we really have to think about all the people that are coming together as a community and what we're doing for each other. Agreed. And just looking at it in that direction. I think that's where I was wanting to go. And I think a lot of people did that tonight.
I think it definitely went there. I see Brandy's watching, Hari's watching, Haley's watching. So let me ask you, when you were laying out the questions, were there any of the questions that when you were laying them out, any that while you were forming those questions that you said, man, I'm really interested to see how they answer this question, or I'm really interested to see if anyone goes the same direction as me here. Were there any of those questions in your head going into the chat?
Yeah.
And did they live up to the hype in your head?
Right. Yeah, I think they did. You know, one of them that I really wanted to hear about was question 5. It was share a positive message, you know, that you've heard from students and staff. And we had a lot of people really respond that, I mean, they just love what they're doing, and thank you so much for what you're doing for my students and how you're providing support for them. And I think that people have really, parents especially, there's a couple people that said tonight it was good for them to see their own children learning. You know, they've been able to see their own kids because they don't necessarily have their kids in their classroom. And so at home, they're able to see their own children learning. And so they're learning a lot from that to go take back into their classrooms and things. And so I think as a parent, you're seeing a lot of, you know, Jeff, you and I have talked about this with your kids, like you've been able to see some things of how they learn and what they're doing. Really and so sharing that with their teachers and saying, hey, you know, thank you for the work you do. You know, you've got 30 of these kids. I've only got 2 right now. You know what I mean? And so just kind of going, I can see what you're doing. Like I've got 2 at home right now. You have 30 normally. So I think that was fun to see, like, you know, what are people saying and helping you get through this as well, you know, helping each other. Yeah,
that's definitely true. Hi, Veronica. Hi. Hey, Don Epps is watching as well. What's up, Donnie?
Oh, good, Don.
I think, and that has been, we talked about that too. And you know, I was talking with my wife the other day, like, you know, obviously this is, I mean, for me, and my wife's still essential, so she goes to work. So I've got the kids most of the time now, and trying to stay on their schoolwork while also trying to, you know, still do my job.
Your own work.
It is an interruption. It is a little additional stress, whatever. But I've been trying to focus on the fact that, but also I'm getting a whole bunch of extra time with my kids. And I'm getting to see them learn, which is just really cool to watch the wheels turn and stuff. So it really is neat. And I'm someone who's always had a lot of respect for teachers, and even more so over the last 5 years of working with them so often. And now it's even higher. Like, so it's just, it's a really cool thing. So any answers or conversations that got going during the chat that were surprising in a good way or bad, but like anything surprising to you, or did it kind of deliver where you were hoping and where you were going? And that's fine too.
I mean, I think it exceeded my expectations. I mean, I think people really were thoughtful about their answers and what they were doing, that they really looked at it from that positive side of how can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? The one thing that I really appreciate a lot of people said is how much reflecting they're doing. You know, we actually have time. I mean, reflection is the only way you can get better, but we don't always have time to think about it. It's like, I got to go on to the next lesson and I have to do this. And so I think that's really an answer I liked seeing, was that people are really reflecting about what they're doing. And really looking at new ways to think about things. Like I have, you know, in ELA, you know, I teach ELA, which is like 5 million standards, right? So we have a lot of standards. It's like math, ELA. I mean, there's just a ton of standards. So really looking at, a lot of people said, you know, I really looked at my curriculum and went, okay, what are really the essentials? Like, because I can't give them these 100. Like, it's not going to happen in the next like 3 months.
I can't cover everything anymore.
And remotely, I can't cover those. So what are the 5 essentials? You know, what are these things that I really have to do? And I really like that people talked about that. And the other thing people talked about a lot was SEL. I mean, relationships are so important right now, and caring more about how kids are feeling, how families are feeling, what we can do for each other, how we can help each other. And I think that when we go back, that needs to be the focus. You know, a lot of us in Washington State, we're done for the year. I know a lot of states are in that position and are going to be there probably. That I think when we go back in the fall, hopefully, we're all praying that's going to happen. We go back in the fall, that we need to focus on, it needs to be all about relationships to start. You know, these kids have gone through a tragedy. I mean, they really have. They'll have gone through a traumatic experience that none of us, unless you're 110 years old, like none of us have ever experienced.
No. Yeah.
So we need to focus on, we love you. We're here for you. You know, what can we do for you? And really focus on that to start the year with.
I agree. You know? That's super important.
And
that's one of those things that I hope carry over into, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what carries over, what new skills and ideas and stuff that are being used now out of necessity are going to carry over into the classroom. What conversations that are happening right now because they have to be, because it's so prevalent, are going to continue to be a focus when we go into fall. And hopefully the ones around building those relationships, focusing on the whole child, equity, things of that nature, like are going to be there, are going to remain in the spotlight when we get back to normal, you know, whenever that is and stuff. So I agree there. Let me just throw one of your own questions at you. I got to look and see which one I want to do though.
See which one. Yeah.
So I think I want to throw this one at you. So question 3 was, how is this struggle making you a better educator? So I don't think I saw your answer in the mix, because a lot of times I don't see half the answers because it's so fast. How do you feel how is this impacting you in your role in what you're doing? And obviously you have Hans there as well, who's all, you know, you guys are at the same school. There's a lot, I'm sure there's a lot of conversation going on around that and stuff, different positions, different roles. How is it affecting you? Like what is it doing for you right now? What do you think those are those things that you're going to take back when we get back into?
Yeah, I think, and what I kind of said is I appreciate the one-on-one interactions I get to have with kids. So I think the biggest thing for me is remembering that email, that alert on my phone, that other thing happening in the hallway, it's not as important as the person standing in front of me. You know, the person that's standing there in front of me that I'm talking to, they get all my attention. Everything else doesn't need to matter right now. I need to focus on you, because that's what's important is those kids that come to me and they just need something, you know, or that teacher that comes to me. You're the most important thing in my life right now. And I want them to feel that, you know, you're always the most important when you're in front of me and I'm talking to you. I'm not going to, you know, look down at my phone. I'm not going to look at an email. I'm not going to worry. I'm going to focus on you.
Be fully present here with you right here.
Yes. Yeah. And I try to do that as much as I can, but I think sometimes, you know, we get busy and we kind of go, oh, okay, I need to do this. I need to have this email, you know, and I just think that my focus needs to be on you. So you're the most important thing right in this moment. So I care about you. I love you. You know. Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't help.
Now, Jeff, you are the most important thing to me.
I agree. I think that is really crucial, and that's something that you don't have the opportunity to do right now in the same way. So feeling that and appreciating that, and I saw a lot of that. You know, that one of them was like, "What are you appreciating more now that you?"
Family. That's what everyone said. I was just looking back at a couple of those. It was like family,
right? Like just you know, little things like that. Yeah, like family. Like we just had we just had a death in our family, and we can't get together and mourn, and it's it is what it is. You have to deal with it how you can, but it's not. It's just a weird time. Like you can't,
and a lot of people that have family in nursing homes and things like that, and you can't visit. You can't go see. My aunt has cancer right now, and so she can't she has to be dropped off at the hospital, and she goes in by herself, and no one can go with her, and it's just that's hard. That's hard when that happens, and you can't be there for those people that normally we can. And you have to be there. You have to be creative in the ways you can be there for them. Yeah, taking pictures and sending videos and doing what you can, writing handwritten notes. I wrote handwritten notes to every one of my advisory kids. I wrote them all these little note cards and sent them all to them in the mail because I want them to know I cared about them and I was thinking about them. And they got a little note from me, in the mail, just to help them feel special while this time is happening because I can't see them.
Yeah, that's so true. And I've had conversations with people who are laughing at themselves. Who are like, "Oh, I miss so and so," and like we never hang out. But now that I can't hang out with them,
now that I can, I want to. Yeah.
It's like, well, I hope you remember that when you're allowed to hang out with them again, that you miss them because you weren't able to. Like it's it's one of those things that's our neighbors here, like we're all like, oh, we're going crazy if we don't see each other. I'm like, we don't see each other a lot during the winter anyway. Like we see each other, but we don't do group stuff until usually spring, summer. But it's just one of those things. Yeah, it really does bring so many things into perspective. What's important, what's not. where your focus should be and things of that nature. So I'm going to throw one more at you, then I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
This is a good one. I'm interested in this one.
Okay.
Question number 6 was, what is the first thing you are going to do with your students or your staff upon returning to your classroom? What's the first thing?
I said that I'm going to give everyone a hug because I have some kids that give me a hug every single day, and I really miss
right
that.
Now.
I know those sweet kids that come and give me a hug. Like, I miss those. I miss those moments. I know. I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Yes. There's so many teachers that are feeling that right now.
I know. Give those high fives in the morning. We do our big morning greeting, and so standing out front saying hi to all the kids. I love that moment of like
plans, forget about my room. I'm just hugging everyone.
Oh yeah. I don't care what my room looks like. Whatever. That'll fix. That doesn't matter. People are what matters. Yeah. My kids are what matters. Yeah.
I love it. I saw quite a bit of that. It's just like, I'm just gonna hug my kiddos. I'm gonna high five.
I'm gonna high five. I'm gonna give fist pumps.
It's not my colleague that I haven't seen. Just things like that. And I think that's so.
And I think one other thing I just thought of something else. One other thing that I saw a lot tonight. I took a picture of one of it. Alyssa, I think was her name. Alyssa said this, that we need to make sure we're doing so good providing for our communities. Like we're sending home lunches, we're doing all of these different things, and we're providing Wi-Fi for people that don't have it. We're doing all these things. And we need to continue that. We stepped up when this tragedy happened and went, oh, we need all these things. And then it was like, but we got to continue this. We need to make sure and continue for people that are in need, that need these opportunities to be given to them, that we continue that caring environment that we have right now. That needs to continue for those students.
Yeah, it's the carryover of continuing to remember these things and that appreciation and the conversations that we're having right now, and the focuses on what's important, what's not. And that has to come back with us in the fall.
Absolutely.
That's how you take from an education standpoint, how you take this negative situation that we're in that's just horrific in so many ways and pull a positive out of it. And what can we do in the future to take this and what we've learned and what we've had to learn because of the circumstance and growth from it. I think in our personal lives, we can do that with the appreciation of appreciating the people that we're not getting to see right now, right?
And
I think in education is that plus a whole lot of other things that we can take and bring in. And so I feel good about, I'm confident in, and I'm optimistic about that happening. I'm excited to see what happens, because obviously if we're seeing what happens, that means we're back, which means this is past, which is what I'm really hoping to get through. But I think that's going to be a big thing there. Lindsay Perry's watching. Hannah said, question 6 made me tear up just thinking about what it would be like to be together again. Yeah, I think that's what everyone was feeling when they were thinking through that, for sure. So, great chat, Jennifer. Your first master chat, first chat. I don't know if this is the chat that I recommend most people use for their first moderating chat. But
right. It probably shouldn't have been my first choice. I probably should start a little easier.
You can go get a Gatorade, a cold washcloth, ice your ankles or something. I don't know why you need to ice your ankles, but whatever. And relax.
Go meditate for a minute. I need to go do that probably first thing.
Set the alarm clock an extra hour later so you can get that extra rest, because you just went through a lot.
Alarm clock. Do you use an alarm clock? I don't use an alarm clock.
No?
No, I haven't had an alarm clock in like 20 years. No, I just wake up.
So I
just wake up in the morning.
I had that going for a while, and I lost it after my injury and a whole bunch of other stuff. I actually lost it. It was funny. I actually talked to your husband about it.
That's funny.
2 days ago about that. I used to not need it. Now it's.
I know I've gotten old enough. I'm like, I just wake up.
That biological clock. I'm working on getting that back. But I'm not. It's not wake. I won't never sleep that long, but it's not waking me up early enough for me. I want to wake up earlier. And it's not waking up early. Now, regardless of whether my alarm clocks get me up or my internal clock get me up, my kids are going to get me up anyway. So
Maya will get me up. My dog Maya will get me up. I don't have to.
My hippopotamus of a dog will sleep for a while. But my daughter, she's up bright and early.
She will make sure. So you don't need to worry about it. You have an automatic alarm clock for down the hall.
Clocks. I can do a lot worse ways. So anyway, Really appreciate you moderating the chat, jumping on here with me.
Thank you.
Appreciate everyone who was commenting and saying
hi.
Yeah,
everybody did an amazing job. Thank you so much for being nice to me on my first chat. Thank you. Everybody was so nice.
Well, I always say it's one of the coolest things about the chat is that you have these teachers that have worked all day.
Yeah.
Dealing with who knows what. They, usually they're in a classroom. Now it's dealing with this virtual stuff and how many emails and all this stuff and the stress and the anxiety. They still take time out and put in a whole hour and sometimes more before and after.
I know.
So to grow, and that is just super awesome.
We appreciate you a much. Yeah.
For 3 years, and it's still just as cool for me at that point as it ever was. So, really appreciate all of you watching, everyone who was in on the chat. We'll be back next week for the chat, same time, same place. Tomorrow morning, Ray will be live in our Facebook group for our daily drop-in, which happens Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, which is 6 a.m. your time, right?
No, 5 a.m.
That's right. You're way over there.
Hence why I haven't been on there yet. One of these days. So I'll be up and ready to go. Yeah.
Ray's got that tomorrow morning. She has Suzanne Daly with us, who's phenomenal. She'll give you such a great pick me up in the morning. So
great answers today too.
Check it out. Yeah, she is. She's fantastic. So we will see you all live tomorrow morning, and then we'll see you next week for Master Chat as well. I hope you guys all have an awesome weekend and take some time to relax, chill out, reset yourself to get back at it tomorrow or next week, and we'll see you when we see you. Thanks, Jennifer. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody.
Hey, everyone.